Hey people! Welcome to this fifth part of my series on the most important basic drum exercises, no matter what level you are. And today in particular, it's about a topic that's really important for everyone, no matter how long you've been playing. Because I once made a video about how you can play very loud and very fast and still protect your body and your equipment by playing as loosely as possible. And some people commented on that, some of them who have been playing for 20, 30 years and told me they always had pain in their joints or broke a lot of sticks. And with this exercise, the problems went away. And that makes me so happy, of course, and that's why I absolutely had to have it in this series. The basic idea is that we can hold the stick much looser than most people think. And I'll show you how to find out just how loose. So I'll show you this exercise in detail. Of course, you can practice this on any drum or just on a practice pad. What we definitely need is more than a few sticks, if possible, because the first exercise looks like this. Just throw away the stick. Sounds totally silly, but I've seen many students who didn't dare to really let go of the sticks. They did it like this. But you need to get comfortable with letting go of the sticks. Lose the fear of losing the stick. So really, throw it away. Also with your weaker hand, because that is also the basic movement. It's actually just throwing. And that's why we need so many sticks. It's a psychological trick. Because we have so many sticks, we dare to throw them away because there are enough of them. When I do this with my students, I stand next to them with a bunch of sticks and always say, "Don't worry, I will give you the next one straight away. You can really throw the stick away now." And that's also why, if you're playing a concert, you should definitely have several sticks in reach so you can stay calm, you have backup. The basic idea of this exercise is that we dare to throw the stick away, because the next part is you just throw the stick onto the practice pad and you see it jumps back by itself. It even bounces back exactly where it came from. And now you try to intentionally let the stick fly out of your hand. See how loose you need to hold it so it glides out of your hand backwards. And when you do that, it often happens that you want to let it go, but it still stays in your hand. It often happens with my student that they try it a few times and are like, "Huh? He said I should throw it away," and they do it like this. Because they can't believe that it stays in their hand even if they try to let it fly back and really let it go. And you can see how relaxed I am, how little influence I have on the stick at all. It's very important to push that limit every now and then. Really loosen your grip as far as possible and you will be very surprised at how far out that limit is. Some don't even notice it. They hold the stick so tight, press it into the head and then have to wind up again for every stroke. The trick is that the stick comes back by itself due to the rebound. Not only that we save a lot of energy because we don't have to pick up the stick ourselves, but all this energy goes into your joints, into the stick, into the heads when you grip too tightly. That means you damage your joints and your equipment. And here is the interesting part. I just hinted at the replacement sticks. If we don't dare being so relaxed that the sticks could fly out of our hands, then we are often so cramped and so tense that it happens all the more because we are so afraid of it. If you're not afraid that you lose a stick, and that happens from time to time, you're much more confident because if you know what happens when the stick flies away, if you're used to it, then you just grab the next one. A skill, by the way, that needs to be practiced, so quickly grabbing a new stick while continuing to play also requires conscious practice. But that's actually what you do when you do this exercise. It's very important that we don't see sticks and hand as one unit. It's just an interface, so to speak. Here is the stick and here is the hand, and they work together. But the stick has its own mechanics, which we can use to leverage the energy we give into it. We give an impact to the stick, and the stick in turn gives an impact to the instrument. This is not a welded unit here. And with this idea of a flexible interface, we can also use other techniques like double strokes, freehand technique, and so on. And we can do exactly what Jojo Mayer says when he said, maximum control with minimum influence. As I said, many don't even know their limit, and it is often much further out than you think. You have to check out where it is because, as always, when you face your fears, you realize they might not be that scary after all. And yes, many are truly scared of letting go of the stick. And if you are afraid of losing your stick, you should definitely practice throwing it away on purpose and calm yourself that nothing bad will happen. And that is why we need some sticks for this exercise. As I said, I always stand next to my students to calm them down. And for many, it's really an eye-opener that you allow the stick to bounce freely and it still stays in your hand. It's that amazing. As I said, with this exercise, we can also play much faster. Why? Because we only have to take care of the one movement down. The up happens by itself. And our speed is actually only limited by our winding up motion, because the contraction of the muscles, that's not the limiting factor. It's incredibly fast. But getting the muscle back into starting position takes time. Relaxing and stretching the muscle fibers takes much longer. If we are relaxed to begin with, then the stick bounces back to the starting position as fast as possible. That is, the looser you are, the faster you can play, because you only have to focus on giving an impulse for the downward motion. If you hold too tight, you have to actively lift the stick, and that takes way longer than this. I wouldn't always play holding the stick as loosely as possible, but I would move in this direction quite a bit. You protect your instrument, your body, you get more endurance, and you can definitely prevent pain. The same applies to the bass drum, by the way. A lot of drummers play by pressing into the bass drum head. It's called burying the beater. The bass drum mallet stays on the head, and you even lean on it between hits. It's not necessarily bad or wrong. Such a drum head can withstand a lot. And there is a certain stability, but it limits one's abilities, especially if one wants to play faster or want to use techniques like the Moller technique or double strokes with a slide technique on the bass drum. This is just not possible when you have gotten into the habit of pressing the beater into the head always. I would recommend to get in the habit of bouncing back from the start. I buried the beater for a few years and then learned to let it bounce back, and it brought me a lot of relaxation, a lot of freedom, better tone even, because if the bass drum isn't extremely muted and is tuned very low, you can actually get different sounds out of it. You can even leverage that and consciously play in or out of the bass drum depending on what kind of sound you want to get out. But in order to have this control over your sound, you need to be able to let the beater bounce back. And if you play faster strokes or double bass drum, the beater must jump back anyway, just like with faster stick hits. You don't have the time to press it into the head in between strokes. So why not play like that all the time? Again, you protect your instrument and your body. You should definitely do these exercises that I just showed you from time to time so that you can see for yourself where you are and remind yourself how easy it is to hold the stick, because we don't hold it, we guide it. And I've also done this exercise very often with my advanced students who have been playing for a long time, and usually it has helped them a lot. Sometimes it was a real breakthrough. So this really was one of my absolute top tips, one of my most important exercises. And again, it's just that simple. This has helped almost all of my students and of course myself. And we will continue like this. In the next few videos, I would also like to introduce you to a selection of exercises that I consider to be the most important, the most effective to help you become independent learners and give you a few valuable systems for your students if you teach or want to teach in the future. So I hope to see you in the next episode. Until then, take care and bye-bye.